Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
You know that moment when you finish a conversation and your shoulders, they finally drop. Now, nothing's changed on paper. There's no new contract signed necessarily, not necessarily an immediate win. But suddenly things feel clearer. They feel lighter, like someone just walked into the room and, that adjusted that picture frame that's been crooked for months and said, there, that's what we're trying to say. And that's what great communications and great connections do. They help you hear what you've been missing and see opportunities that might have always been there, but they were invisible to you. And all of a sudden you realize that you're not having to carry the whole thing alone, that there's somebody there to kind of translate or kind of see what's ahead of you. That's exactly where today's conversation is headed. My guest today is Jen Anderson. She's a professional wing woman. We'll talk about that. And she supports online service-based business owners with strategy, collaboration, communication, and business development. She has a rare ability to hear what's not being said, identify gaps, hidden opportunities, and help business owners finally unclench their jaw, let their shoulders drop, if you will. When clients work with her, they reclaim time, energy, and money, not by doing more, but by getting clearer, connecting smarter, and surrounding themselves with the right people. Today, we're going to talk about communication that actually works, networking that pays off long after the first meeting, and talk about why collaboration is not a luxury for business owners. It's actually a necessity. Jen, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you. Nice to be here, Frank. Thanks for having me. So,
wing woman. I love that moniker. We've always heard the moniker wingman, and you just kind of that's what you came up with. It definitely sticks. But in networking, I see a lot of people who don't do things because they don't have a wing woman or a wingman. They don't.
Yeah.
And I know that's not necessarily all of that you do, but that's that. When I first saw this, when I first got your LinkedIn profile, it was like, oh, okay, I got to talk to this person. So how did you stumble into this?
So, yes, I created the position for myself, professional wing woman, and I don't help people get dates. I have been asked that before. They're like, oh, are you going to help me get a date? No, that's a totally different business model.
You're on your own.
Different pricing structure for sure. But this is kind of who I've always been. It started when my kids were little because, they played hockey and I would always tell them, mom's got your back. I'm your wing woman. If you need something, you are speaking on your own behalf, but I'm right here if you need something. And so when I started moving into online business, working with clients, I noticed pretty quickly that was what they needed. That was the gap that I was filling. They didn't need somebody that could do the tasky things necessarily. They needed somebody that was going to really collaborate with them and put themselves into their owner's shoes. So networking in particular on behalf of them, with them, finding the right places and spaces for them to be that's going to maximize their time and their ROI and their connections, really, right? Because, networking isn't always a direct line to ROI, but the connections that you make certainly can be. And, when you're doing it with intention, that's the best way to start to create those business relationships because, it really isn't always about what you know. Sometimes it is about who you know because those people have already invested in starting to have a relationship with you in whatever form or fashion that is, whether it's online. I get a lot of traffic on LinkedIn, talking with people, connecting with people through LinkedIn. And it's hugely beneficial. It's hugely important. You kind of find the people, you surround yourself with the people that you admire or like or want to be like, and like attracts like. So you get in that space and you start to be able to see what's possible for yourself.
Yeah. What I see, the advantage of, someone like you is, for the most part, people are horrible self-promoters.
Yeah.
They really are.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not just blind opportunities, but but when they see them, then, well, I guess being blind is the first problem. But then when they see them, it's just like they freeze up and
Yep.
say, I don't want to put myself out there. And someone
Yeah.
like you can be like, no, I need this person.
Yeah. And sometimes it's funny too, because sometimes people miss like one critical thing. Like they'll say, oh, I'm not good at, whatever, insert the blank. I'm not good at messaging, or I'm not good at marketing. And sometimes I will say, aren't you though? Here's
Yeah.
5 things that we did that prove that wrong. Because
Yeah.
they're so focused on what they do and what they deliver that they sometimes don't see some of the other things that feed into that. So then I
Yeah.
get to help them sort of pull that out and then express it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like when people are self-deprecating in that way. I mean, self-deprecating humor is great. That's fun. That's, I
Sure.
think it's a great icebreaker. But when people say, I'm really horrible at remembering names, or I'm really horrible
Yeah.
with this, it's like, why are you saying that? First of
Yeah.
all, this other person doesn't know it. So let them, if
Right.
you truly are, let them figure it out.
Right.
Don't give them a hint.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Self-deprecating is a lot different than self-defeating. Like
yeah,
that's totally different things. And I've seen both of those things too. And I also talk to my people if they are going to be on a stage or speaking in front of people.
yep,
That's something, if you want to use humor, I'm all for it. And self-deprecating humor is great. But if you're going to stand on a stage and then say something like you just, well, I'm terrible with numbers, like somehow in some way you have to do numbers with the people that you're talking to or
yeah,
whatever that is. So there's a line there, that you want to be thoughtful about too.
yeah. Well, I'm not a fan of the notion of fake it till you make it either,
Yeah.
right? I think
Right.
that's the other extreme.
Mm-hmm.
But there's something about that balanced confidence that
Yeah.
really draws people to us. That, you know what?
Yeah.
If I'm I've been doing this a long time. I'm pretty good at it. I'm not
Yeah.
perfect, and if I don't have
Yeah.
the answer, I'll go find somebody.
Right. Yeah. And I tell my people that all the time too, like action creates confidence, not the other way around. So sometimes people get stuck in this, well, when I get better at it, then I'll go do it. It's like you got to do it first and then you get better at it. And
Yeah,
then you do it and then that's really how that train works. If you're going to
yeah,
wait to get the confidence until you get quote unquote good enough at something to do it, you're going to be sitting there for an awfully long time.
yeah. I'm of the theory, or of the mindset, that everybody has a little bit of head trash. I mean, Bill Gates, Warren
Yeah.
Buffett, really super rich
Yeah.
people, they
Right.
have head trash. And you think, okay,
Absolutely.
well, they have the money. Why would they? What? No, there's insecurities there.
For
There's,
sure. For
Hollywood,
sure.
Hollywood people. I mean, they're getting divorced left and right. There's got to be problems, right?
Yeah,
So,
they're riddled with it.
right. There's some sort of insecurity that just is, it's not, things aren't working out. Um, and the reason I say that and certainly try to remind myself of that walking into any room, is I'm not trying to be braggadocious, but you know what? I belong.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
come in here with a skill set, and I belong. Um, and I shouldn't shrink from the moment.
Right.
It's
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel the same way. That's funny, Frank, because I've said actually to people before, there are very, very few rooms where I look around and feel like I don't belong here.
yeah,
If if I'm in the room, I'm going to belong in whatever way that looks like. When prior to being a professional wing woman, my background was in fitness.
hmm,
And I spent 20 years helping people get comfortable and communicating with them through fitness, right? Picking up heavy things and putting it back down. And I remember going to a class one time for the battle ropes, if you've seen those big ropes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I was the only person in the room who wasn't a professional athlete or bodybuilder. So talk about like one of these things is not like the other.
Yeah.
And you know what? I still belonged in that room.
Yeah.
I was fine. But you have to just kind of make peace with that and look around the room and go, okay, well, I can contribute what I have here. And then I can learn from these guys. I can pick up what other people are laying down.
Yeah. My grandfather had a saying that there's never a horse that hasn't been rode, and there's never been a cowboy that hasn't been throwed, which was his way of saying, you know what, as tough as somebody might be, there's somebody out there who's going to be tougher,
Yeah.
right? There's somebody who's going to defeat anybody. And so, don't think you're invincible, and don't think other people are invincible.
Right. Absolutely. And I've also, even when I was building a team in corporate fitness, I also never wanted to, nor did I expect to be, nor was I the smartest person in the room
Mm-hmm.
or the strongest. You want to surround yourself with the people who are smarter than you, stronger than you in whatever areas. And then, my job as a professional wing woman is to help them draw that out and then connect the dots. Like help them draw that out and then surround themselves with more people that are going to contribute to what they're doing.
Yeah.
So,
I know we had this conversation when we were going back and forth. We have a mutual connection in Susie Moon, who's
yes,
she's
one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's an Uber networker.
Yep.
So
I've learned a ton from working with her. Yeah, I've been working with her for a long time.
yeah,
she's brilliant. Yeah.
Well, and she's very good at connecting with people. And I think it's one of those things where you start to develop a reputation, I should say, not a relationship, a reputation of being that person, and it becomes self-perpetuating at some point, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I think that not everybody has an ease with people. It's not everybody has a natural ease. That's one of the things that she has, and that sometimes you need to sort of feed off of that from someone else. Somebody who can. We've all met people who somebody say at a party, "Oh, she could talk to the wall. He could talk to a plant." Like those people, that's kind of who you need around you sometimes to be able to sort of break that ice. And say, hey, here's something great about this person. Here's something great about this person. You guys should really talk about that.
Yeah. Well, and if you stop, as long as you have people in your life, there's always somebody to introduce somebody to.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I was trying to play with this the other day with AI. I couldn't make it to work. Just AI doesn't have access to my LinkedIn, but I asked AI is, and I'll pick on you, use you as an example. Hey, here's Jen Anderson's profile. Go through the rest of my profiles and give me a list of people based on who she is and what she does that I should introduce her to. And it couldn't do it, but I was so hopeful that it could, because the problem with humans is, well, there's lots of problems with humans, but one of the, we're very smart and we're very flexible in doing lots of things, but we get distracted. So I might go into LinkedIn and say, okay, Jen Anderson, I'm going to go through, and it's time consuming to go through and start looking through names and trying to figure out whatever. Whereas AI is kind of singularly focused. Here's my task. And I would love for AI to get to that point where it could go in there and do that, because I'm sure I've got, I don't know, 15, 20,000 connections. It would go through and say, well, yeah, here are 10 great people that I'm connected to and you're not connected to, because it would look at both. And then I could just say, okay, yeah, you guys need to meet.
I'm
That's
sure it's probably moments away from creating that right now.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, because I just think we solve a lot of problems in a hurry. Hey, these people need to meet. They've, this person's got the roller skate. They've got the key. They'll be able to figure it out. And we, this, you go through those moments where you've introduced to people and you get that message back saying, wow, that's a game changer for me. We're writing a book. I'm like you.
How cool is that?
Yeah. I don't matchmake, but I've had a couple of people who got married off of introductions. Right. And that was never the purpose, never, ever the purpose. but
But that's a feel good. I'd put that on your resume anyway, Frank. That's a
yeah,
good one.
no, I mean, it is. It's very, well, the two I introduced, that my most notable, she's Croatian and he's from England, right? And so it's like this international love affair.
Yeah.
And but I digress. Um, it's it's just that good feeling. And
Yeah.
if you could get AI or be able to tap into LinkedIn, and maybe LinkedIn's working on it,
Yeah.
and be able to make these connections faster, more meaningful. Because a lot of times you get introduced to people and it's like, okay, yeah, hey, you two should meet.
Yeah.
Not really
Yeah.
sure why.
Yeah.
The third person sees something, and you can have, we could be having this conversation, and they have their intention and didn't reveal it, and we just totally miss it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Yeah, and I think there is also an element too of protecting your schedule a little bit, because I love meeting people and having coffee chats, but when your whole calendar gets filled with that
yeah,
gets to be a little bit tough too. It's like, again, where are we connecting these dots? Where do we figure each other out in our business world?
yeah,
You know, that's going to move those chains at some point.
yeah.
Yeah.
I love the football metaphor. That was good.
You bet.
I don't know if everybody would get that, but anyhow, doesn't matter. We get it.
That's right.
Well, that's a interesting point. I try to talk to most people. I don't have coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what people. Well, I say that I'm having coffee with somebody tomorrow that I've known for a long time, but that first interaction is not a coffee date. It's not a
Yeah.
coffee get together, and I feel bad doing it, but I'll tell people, yeah, I don't do coffee. Let's have a Zoom call.
Yeah.
Even if you're a mile away, let's do a Zoom call and let's just
Right.
figure it out.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it might be that, because then I tell them, a cup of coffee is 90 minutes. By the time you drop what you're doing, get in the car, drive where you're going, have your 30 minutes, because that's, you're going to get into polite
Yeah.
pleasantries, and then getting
Right.
back in the flow. Whereas if
Yeah.
it's a Zoom call, it's like, okay, I can hop on this, and you know what? If we need to meet, then that's great. Let's go meet.
Yeah.
But a lot of times it's like, you know what? You need to be connected to Susie Moon. You
Right.
need to be connected to this person. You need to be connected to that person.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
It's like trying to just make the best use of that time, and particularly that first introduction.
Yeah.
That's definitely true.
And I think during COVID we had a lot of I just felt this compulsion. I need to be talking to people. I was like this shark
Yeah.
that I need to keep moving. I need to keep talking to be relevant with people. And then after a while, it's like, okay, a lot of this is just going nowhere.
Right. Right. Yeah. But it's so true though, because it really kind of surfaced how much we do need connection when we couldn't have any or didn't get any.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all of a sudden it was like, okay, well, people have their feelings about technology or social media and that kind of thing, but that gave us the opportunity to do this. We didn't do this. I didn't do this before COVID.
No.
I would have never, I got on Zooms with my friends.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't physically go places. And so we would get on, a 6-person Zoom and hang out. And it's like, it just really surfaced how critical that connection piece is.
Yeah.
Instead of the isolation.
Yeah. I had Zoom. I used it to do interviews. So I would have done this.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize you could, like you say, have 6 or 60 people on a call. And
yeah.
Really have, I've got franchisees all over the place. And so every Monday we can come together and we can have that conversation. And
like what a cool gift.
It is.
I was still in fitness, and the organization told me, why don't you go on live and teach fitness classes on like Facebook Live? And I was like, ooh, I really don't want to do that, because I really didn't want to do that. And they said, oh, okay, we understand. Or you can go on Facebook Live and teach fitness classes. And I was like, okay, I guess that's what I want to do after all.
Yeah.
So I really didn't have a choice, but I would get people saying, hey, I'm watching from Costa Rica, from California, from Chicago, New York, New Jersey. And I was like, this is wild.
Yeah.
It was really eye-opening. And then that's also what brought me to the computer then to be a wing woman, because I had spent all that time inside of four walls, and I'm like, there's a whole world out there that I can connect with now and work with and network and serve. So that was really impactful.
Well, let's shift gears. Let's talk about your business. Let's talk about people listening and how you can help them. I know you work with Susie and help Susie with lots of things.
Yep.
And in fact, I connected Susie to another friend of mine, Todd Birch. I don't know if you get a chance to meet with Todd.
Yeah.
He's a client of hers, I believe now. He's very excited. Very, I can't believe, that it was a game changer for him. Which is so. But yeah,
it's awesome.
Share about your business and who you're looking to meet.
Sure. Yeah, I mostly work with small business owners or solopreneurs. If they have a team, they have a small team that I sometimes help them manage. It depends. But really, I meet people. All of my clients have been through referral and word of mouth. I don't have a website. I work primarily out of LinkedIn and my inbox. And I, meet with the clients, figure out what their biggest win is going to be, figure out really where my strengths are versus theirs. And I'm very clear about some of the things that I don't do. So there's not a question of like to your point, fake it till I make it. I'm not doing that. So we lay out pretty clearly then what I can best help them with. And it's fractional. It's a couple of hours a week or a month, depending on the client. And then we just sort of set those goals and keep moving them forward. So I create the cadence for them to be able to create capacity for their business. So most often I don't do what they do. One of my people is a Microsoft expert. I am no such thing.
Sure.
However, I can help her create the capacity to be able to do more of that with me helping to run the show and do the outreach and the follow-ups and help her with client management, where you're going to go, where you want to go, find those gaps, those opportunities, connect with people that I can see are in that market for the things that they need. So that's really how I work with my clients. It's pretty organic. I've worked with authors, podcast hosts, Microsoft expert, graphic designers, marketing and branding. Susie's a connection expert, speakers, professional speakers we work with. Event planners, nonprofit. I've got all kinds of different industries, but it just kind of depends on where that fits in for them. And really, it's a lot of times that person looks around and just says, I don't want to do this by myself anymore. And that's when they need a wing woman.
Yeah.
I can partner with them.
Yeah, it sounds like, and you see this all the time in small business, the plumber is really good at turning a wrench. The plumber is not good with the bookkeeping. The plumber is not good with social media. Nor does the plumber have the platform that he can hire somebody full time for any one of those things, or and so he's piecemealing things together.
And my strengths are other people's weaknesses and vice versa. So we kind of figure out where those puzzle pieces fit when we're working together. So that makes it kind of fun and interesting.
Best way to get a hold of you is through your LinkedIn. I'll put it in the show notes, but it's Jennifer Anderson, Wing Woman. Jennifer Anderson's a pretty
common name.
Pretty common name. Thank you. Yes.
But in my LinkedIn, I do have Wing Woman in my URL.
Okay.
On the LinkedIn, and then my Gmail, janderson5969@gmail.com.
All right. Yeah. I appreciate you taking the time today. Thank you.
Likewise. Good time. Thanks, Frank.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AMSPIRIT.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connection. All rights reserved.